Kevin Knox might be better than Kuminga, more of a winning player. Exactly, Jonathan Kuminga plays for stat lines, abysmally low basketball IQ. I don't understand what Golden State sees in Kuminga. He's an insanely low IQ player. It's just that Kuminga is not a good fit on the Warriors. Simple, bro. He's not a good shooter, can't pass or playmake, low IQ, and not a good enough bigger player Joe wants to justify like James Wiseman, like John Kuminga. Low skill, low IQ players who only can run and jump. And this one hurts the most because it's by Dev in the lab. I'm still sure the Warriors won't ever win a championship featuring Kuminga. We all know the potential, can't deny that. But unless he commits to an Iguodala 76ers Warriors hybrid role, the Warriors, will never be that good. But I hope I'm wrong if they keep him.
5 turnovers for Sacramento. 3,999 threes. The fake and the drive on Monk. Green into Kuminga. He goes by 4,000 threes. Kuminga got it and is dominating inside.
I'm not even worried about it. Sacramento Kings they're gonna win this game.
Okay.
I tell you what.
First time in 31 games.
If Kuminga comes back and play well, this team could be the second best team in the West. I truly believe that.
I love it. I love that my mans came out there and was aggressive, putting the ball in the basket. High energy, jumping out the gym and dunking the basketball. I want him to be him.
They are dangerous. They are dangerous.
Jonathan Kuminga is back. Hey, what's happening, everyone? This is Swish Culture. It has been exactly 70 days. Over 2 months. That is 9 weeks and 6 days since Jonathan Kuminga played a game for the Golden State Warriors. And during that time, those insane comments were all you saw on social media. In his first game back, however, while on minutes restriction, without breaking a sweat, JK put up 18 points on 7 of 10 shot attempts from the field in just 20 minutes. But that's not all. Some of the most brilliant plays made on the court left the Kings players completely lost. For someone supposedly lacking in IQ, this must have been inconceivable for some of the Warriors fan base, who would have been shocked when they realized that his first box stat upon his return was a rim pressure defense collapsing kick-out 3 to Steph Curry. But hold your horses. Moses Moody is turning into one of the most reliable two-way players on Golden State. After getting consistent playing time as the team's starting two-guard, he's really started to come into his own, especially over the last 3 games, averaging 16 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists while shooting 50% from the field and 50% from 3 in just 32 minutes while playing some of the best defense we've seen him play during that time period is eye-opening. He's a very physical player, and this is what we expect to translate when we get to the playoffs. What most people don't realize is that the emergence of these two players, both Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody, is one of the scariest things about the Golden State Warriors. So let's find out what's been going on behind the scenes and what could be the 5th ring for the three-point king Steph Curry. Before that, however, be sure to like the video and subscribe to Swish Culture for the most analytical and entertaining NBA content on the planet. Now get ready. You're about to get If you are one of those people that skip the intro, don't worry. I made a second intro just for you guys. I'm just playing. But you know who wasn't playing? Jonathan Kuminga rolled out of bed and sleepwalked his way to 18 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist and 1 steal, outscoring both Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler combined. Only one player outscored JK on the roster, and that was Draymond Green, who had 23 points off of 4 made threes. Now, despite what you might think, Green was one of the biggest reasons JK was selected by the Warriors with the 7th overall pick back in 2021, and also one of the voices in the locker room urging Steve Kerr to give Kuminga some playing time in his place. Coming into his fourth year, it was obvious to some that he had made strides in his game and was literally a 30-minute average playing time per game away from being one of the top scorers in the league. He was set to make a leap this year after putting up 18 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists in just 28 minutes to close out the last 20 games of last season. It became feasible that a larger role with the team would not only see his stats improve, but his stock as well, which would see him command a lot of attention on the trade market. After the team saw some struggles, Kerr eventually caved and started giving Jonathan a much larger role, including starters minutes and running some of the offense through him. This resulted in a 15-game stretch that ran from December 3rd to January 4th, that saw him average over 20 points, 6 rebounds, almost 3 assists, 48% from the field, and 41% from 3. Considering his slow start to the season in terms of efficiency, his numbers were trending upwards and only got better as we approached the date of his injury. While some in social media put pressure on the team, front office, and ownership, seeing JK as either a piece to get a lesser talented player because, let's be real, Cam Johnson isn't half the player that Jonathan Kuminga is, in order to find someone that they considered to be a better fit with Steph Curry, or just get rid of him altogether because they didn't think he was worth playing, which is a ridiculous sentiment. They questioned his fit with Jimmy, and a good number of them were pretty upset about his return and that it would actually make the team worse. You can't make this stuff up. Either way, he wasn't traded, and in his first game with Jimmy Butler, it was obvious JK was the perfect missing piece in this puzzle. Take this play for example. JK realizes that his defender is a 6'3" guard and the Kings have no rim protection. While Monk is athletic, JK just has to get a step on Malik. He freezes Monk here with the hezzy and drives. Monk is not known for being a great defender and easily gets taken off the dribble by JK. Clearly someone read the scouting report. On this next play, he gets Keon Ellis, the other perimeter defender, on a switch. This is the same dude the Kings were parading around as guarding Steph and shutting him down in the elimination game last season. Well, Kuminga runs through the purple and white cone like he was Mr. Dingaling, put him on the cutting board and
chopping his way down low, machetes for 2.
This man just missed 31 games and came back like he never left. He then attacks Zach LaVine. I mean, call it a bad shot, but to keep it a stack, no one else made themselves available, and on top of that, he felt the contact. Went up, didn't get the call, but got the ball to drop while getting MVP chance.
1 day shy of his 37th birthday, putting Kuminga with a corkscrew move.
Yeah, he's like that. But the last play I'll point out is this inbound play where he's got to make a quick decision to get the ball in, and the Kings are doing a great job of denying the pass. Moody gets some brief separation, and in that span, he hits Moody for the quick 1-2, and Moody hits him right back as he gets inbounds. A really tough play to time because JK still has to establish himself before he gets in order to receive the pass without it being a turnover. That means both feet have to be on the ground, then he has to be spatially aware to know where he is with regards to the basket, where the opposing players are, and if he has room to make the play and also finish the play. All this in the span of 2 seconds. Yeah, low IQ. But I won't make this just about Kuminga, as his draft class teammate Moses Moody is making a surge right in front of our eyes. It was a slow burn for Moody getting started this season, but with the consistent playing time, he's become a force on this Warriors team. Somehow the Warriors managed to have developed 2 two-way wings, and while some were disappointed in the development trajectory of both, that would be a tad bit unfair to both players. But speaking of Moody specifically, we saw his runs in the offseason. We saw how much more aggressive he was in terms of attacking the basket. But as much as we'd like to think this is new, most of what is new is Moody's confidence. This is obvious because Moses Moody was doing all this in the G League. As a lottery pick, he wasn't concerned about making mistakes playing in Santa Cruz. That was practice for him. This allowed him to work out the kinks in his game, learn what works and what doesn't. Now obviously the G League is not as competitive, but this was as close as you'll get to playing against NBA players. In my opinion, the G League was too easy for Moody even as a rookie, but he wasn't getting a long enough leash to really unlock while sharing a court with the likes of Steph Curry and Draymond Green. This was something Steve Kerr had to balance, and while he wasn't perfect, the fact is that Moody is playing the best basketball of his life in a starter's role while getting solid minutes. In last night's game, he put up 17 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, and 1 block while shooting 4 of 6 from distance in just 30 minutes. The future of Moody is rather interesting because Steve Kerr still sees Pods as a player that he'd like to play in a potential starting role next to Jonathan Kuminga. When asked about playing JK next to Jimmy, he had this to say.
How curious are you to see lineups where, Draymond's at the center and, him and Jimmy out there, kind of those small ball?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely want to get to that lineup at some point. My gut is BP should be with that lineup. But maybe I'm thinking about it wrong. I'm thinking about BP's playmaking, but with Jimmy and Draymond, maybe we have enough playmaking. Maybe we could put a shooter out there, Moses or Buddy. So that's definitely a lineup that we're thinking of.
So while he currently sees Pods as sort of a balance for JK in the sense of playmaking, the fact that both Draymond and Jimmy are playmakers makes that a moot point, not to mention Steph Curry. I mentioned this because if JK gets into the starting lineup, there's a possibility that Steve is considering moving Moses Moody to the bench, preventing us from seeing both of these guys together in a starting lineup. I personally think they'll be fine together playing alongside Jimmy, Steph, and either Green or Post. The Warriors have 16 games remaining, and in that time, they'll have to lock down a starting five. Still not fully healthy with Pods out, but this team is absolutely dangerous. If you can get Chuck to admit that he was wrong and give the Warriors their due, you know the Piper's about to get paid. So what would a starting five look like? Curry, Moody, Butler, Kuminga, and Green. Because Jimmy can operate outside the paint, it changes the dynamic on floor spacing. Now you don't necessarily need to have that many shooters as long as guys are moving and cutting to the basket. That means Pods, Hield, GP2, Santos, Post, and Loon off the bench. That's a total of 11 players and still a bit of a deep roster to take into the playoffs. Now typically coaches like to cut that rotation down to 8 guys, so 3 of these players would be out of the rotation. Let me know which 3 players you would take out by posting it in the comments below. This stretch before the playoffs will go crazy, and as optimistic as I was saying that the team was going to go 21-4 back when they had 25 games left, I'm not sure there are 4 games left to lose this season. If the Warriors do lose 4 games, that's 50 wins. So let me know in the comments below. How many games do they lose out of the remaining 16? Just be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on all your notifications so you don't miss any of my latest uploads. Thanks for watching. Till next time, swish.